Today I want to explain in detail why the Tecno Spark series typically doesn't get major Android or OS upgrades and what choices you have if you want a phone that stays current. I'll walk through the company's strategy, the technical limits, what official support usually looks like, and the realistic alternatives including custom ROMs so you can decide what's best for your next device. First, a quick heads up, this is basically part 2 of my earlier video about the Infinix Smart series which covered a very similar situation. The Spark series follows a lot of the same patterns, so if you watch that one, it will feel familiar. But today we'll dig deeper into the Spark lineup specifically, and I'll give some practical recommendations you can act on. Okay, let's start with the corporate structure. Tecno, Infinix are all under the same parent company, Transsion Holdings. What Transient does is run multiple brands and multiple product lines so they can target different customers without muddling each brand's identity. That's why you see distinct series inside Tecno Camon, which focuses on camera performance and premium features, Pova aimed at gamers and heavy users, Curve and Slim, which highlight design and form factor, and Spark, which is their entry level budget friendly line. Each line has a specific role in the market. Now, why does that matter for updates? From a business perspective, the Spark series is designed to be an affordable entry point. It's meant to introduce users to Tecno's software, skin, features, and ecosystem at a low price. If you like the experience, the idea is you'll eventually upgrade to a higher tier model, maybe a Camon for better camera performance or a POA for games. So, providing long term major updates for the cheapest models isn't a priority in that model. The company focuses resources on devices that deliver higher margins and stronger customer retention. Technically, there are real constraints as well. Spark phones generally use lower cost chipsets and components that may lack the headroom to support large Android version upgrades. Major Android updates often require extensive testing, driver updates from chipset vendors, and optimization to keep performance and battery life acceptable. For low-end hardware, that effort can be large compared to the expected return. In short, it's expensive and time-consuming for the manufacturer, and the economics don't justify it for budget models. So, what actually happens in practice? For Spark models, you'll typically see security patches and occasional maintenance updates. Those are relatively small and quick to deliver. Full OS upgrades like moving from Android 12 to Android 13 or later are rare for Spark phones. If you follow Tecno's official channels, you'll notice announcements for some mid and high-end phones getting feature updates, but not for the Spark series. Claims online that Spark devices will receive major OS updates should be checked against official Tecno statements. Most of the time there aren't any. If having the latest Android versions matters to you, the simplest path is to choose a higher tier device in Tecno's lineup, Camon, POA, or one of their premium models. Those devices are more likely to get longer support windows, better hardware to handle upgrades, and more frequent feature updates. It's the most reliable way to
यहाँ
stay
पर
on newer Android releases without tinkering.
ये
That
इसका
said,
अबाउट है। आप
many
लोग देख
Spark
सकते हो,
users have
सारी
found
डिटेल
another
यहाँ पर
route,
दी गई
custom
है
ROMs.
और ये
Installing
हमें
a custom
तकरीबन
ROM, for
तकरीबन
example, a
50 के
community-built
का
Android
पाकिस्तानी
16 or
में हमें
17
ये
port
मिला है।
can give you access to newer
और
Android
आप लोगों के
versions
पास कौन
even
सा
when
फ़ोन
the
है कमेंट बॉक्स
manufacturer
में ज़रूर
doesn't
बताइएगा।
provide
बाकी
them.
कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन
The
चाहिए तो
trade-offs
आप
are
कमेंट बॉक्स में पूछ।
important to understand. Custom ROMs can be less stable, they might lack some manufacturer-specific features or camera tuning, and they require unlocking the bootloader and flashing software. Doing this almost always voids the warranty, and Tecno won't provide support if something goes wrong. So proceed carefully and only if you're comfortable with the process. Another practical option if you want a more future proof choice but don't want to buy top tier hardware, buy a used or refurbished
सकते हैं।
mid-range
बाकी मिलते हैं
model
नेक्स्ट
that
वीडियो में, तब तक
originally
के लिए
shipped with
खुदा
a newer
हाफिज़।
Premium
Android
finish.
version or is known for
On the rear,
longer
you
update
will find the
support.
camera layout and the
Mid-range
capacitive
devices
fingerprint
from
scanner
the
on both
Camon or POVA
devices.
lines can
Then on the
sometimes be
right side
found
is the
at
power button
attractive
and the volume
prices and
rocker.
give you a better
But when
upgrade
it comes
path
to the
than a
SIM
brand new
placement,
Spark.
it's different.
Alright, to
On the
summarize
Spark
briefly,
5,
the
you'll find the
Spark
dual nano
series
SIM and the
mostly
micro
gets
SD card
security
slot on
patches,
the
not
left.
full OS upgrades, because
But
of
on the port
Transsion's
4,
multi-brand
instead of a
business
SIM
strategy
ejector
and the
tool,
technical cost of
you'll have to pull
supporting
open the
low-end
back cover
hardware.
to reveal the
If you
slots for
need
your dual
updates,
nano SIMs and the
move up to
micro
a
SD
higher
card.
tier model or
For me, I
consider
think it's
custom
more
ROMs
safer.
if you
You
accept
can
the
easily
risks.
insert and pull out
Thanks
as
for
well
watching.
without
I
needing a
really
pin.
appreciate you spending time
Then at
on
the
this
bottom is
topic.
the usual micro
If this
USB
video
port and
helped,
the
please
earphone
hit
jack
like
on the
and
port 4.
subscribe. It really helps the channel.
So how much is the
Share
Pop 4
this with
compared to the
anyone
Tecno
who owns
Spark
a
5?
Tecno Spark
The new Tecno Pop
and
4
might
is
find it
available at a
useful.
very affordable price
Drop
of
your questions
35,000,
or
which
experiences
amounts
with
to $90
upgrades and
US.
custom ROMs in the
For
comments.
entry-level device,
Until
it
next
doesn't get
time,
any
take
better
care.
than
Allah
this.
Hafiz.